This is a story about Ruth and I. I want to talk about this one today. Hello, hello, hello. This is Tom from Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures. Today I want to talk about this story real quick. Ruth and I, people are asking me still, how do we meet? What was the best way to meet someone? I'm a couple of guys from different, not just the States have asked me, Brazil, and a guy from Russia asked me. I think that my story is this. When I was in the States, I got in my 50s, and quite a few of my associates that I worked with came here to the Philippines, and either was already married to a Filipina and or just going back home to live, or has looking for a Filipina, found one and moved here. There's 20 something guys, 26 something like that are here or was here and still here, and some are gone, and more have come from the old company I worked for. And the reason why all of these guys, but you've got to realize there's thousands of people who work for the company I work for, but all these guys were associates of mine scattered through the southeast United States, and these were friends because I was a salesperson, so we all traveled. So we would go into sales meetings, we'd talk, and the wives or the girlfriends would be there also, and things like that, because this company, they would pay for everything. So the thing that I was amazed with was Filipina, and of course the guys would tell me, hey, check it out. So what it is, started researching in my 50s on about living here, and it was not good at the time. It was really not good. Martial law and things like that. So a lot of trouble going on throughout the country. In some of the areas, still arguing and having that argument in some areas still to this day. But really, overall, it was a big decision. And I met her eventually, and how we met was through time. And I'm talking like 57, 58. I met her online on a site called Pina Love, and that's how we got together. We met there. I had already had it with the dating sites. I'd lost money. I'd sent a lady in Davao $1,500 and trying to help out the goodness of my heart. And it was all a scam, and I got taken, and not just that time, a couple other times. And because a man, people know how to tug at my heart. It's either food or sickness. So even to this day, it's food or sickness. Somebody tells me they don't have food, I'm there. What do you need? Let's go buy it. And even in the States, I was that way. I see a homeless guy comes up, hey, I'm hungry. Come on, let's go buy you a sandwich. And here's, here you go. Here's some stuff for later. But the Pina Love site was kind of scamish also, but it's okay. I did find some nice ladies there. It just didn't fit. But Ruth came into the picture, and I just kind of fell in love with her. And it took time. It was not happen overnight. Did I like her? Yeah, I liked her a lot. And she was the same way with me. She was skeptic. She'd ask me, "Liv, take a picture where I'm at. Who's in the room with you?" She's been taken before, and she was upset, and she was trying to deal with what was going on in her life too. And she had been, even Filipinos get scammed, and she went through a scam also. So, and her scam was the guys, send me money, and of course she didn't send money because she didn't have any money, and it was that lingering on and on and on after a month or two talking to these guys, and it was all a scam. So she was really reluctant. But as time went on, we were very in tune with each other, and we started chilling, and I asked what she liked and what she wanted to do and what she wanted to achieve in life. And we all had a lot of things in common. So I planned a trip. I said, okay, 8 months, 9 months from now, I'll come there because I can scoop up 4 or 5 weeks of vacation, and I'll go there. So eventually, as time went on, we kept talking. And it got to where we ran out of things to talk about after a year or so. We just ran out of things to talk about. Hi, how are you? How's your day? And then we're done because we talked about everything so many times before. Where am I at today? I'm at the same place I was last week, and not too much change. And it was the same for her. Where are you at? Well, I'm at the school. I'm, waiting hard to get out of school. And what they do here is, when you take children to school, the parents stay at school all day. They have nothing to do at home, so they stay at school. They sit out underneath the tree, and if it starts raining, they get underneath the eave of the school, and they stay there. They eat lunch there and everything. They bring the lunch or buy something simple to eat. And so she was doing that. And as time went on, things were like things were like gelling between us really good. So I would call her and I said, hey, I sent you some money. Would you please go pick it up? It's been 3 or 4 days now because I get nervous because, go get it. I don't trust Western Union. I don't trust these people. Go get your money. She was not really a person just get up and go get it. Like, I'm at the ATM, send me the money. So her and her sisters would walk down there and go get the money, and then she messaged me, did you get the money? Oh yeah, I got the money. It's like, you know how it is. But some went on, we just gelled. We would often talk, when you come and when you come. That was the thing on her. When you come and when you come and when you come. And it got to the point to where it's becoming like, I told you I'll be there. You got to give me another couple of months here. I can't just walk off this job. I can't lose this job. But as time went on, we got to gelling, and the time came that I was arriving, and she wanted to see my ticket, and she wanted to check on it, and understandably so, because even though I was doing this, she didn't want to waste her time, even though things were good. And I still had reluctant if we're going to gel. We didn't know where we're going to gel because we're not living together. You can't just come and move in and go and everything's going to be perfect either, because you're going to have things. Well, I do it this way. My pet peeve is this, and you never really went through a lot of things. Maybe I leave dirty laundry in the corner, which I don't, but things like that. You kind of know what I mean. Chewing food, which that drives me crazy. They do a lot of that here. So things like that. But I came here. I sent her a ticket to meet me in Manila, and I bus fare and tickets and that stuff, and things worked out really well when we met. She was nervous and I was nervous, and we met. And of course, I stayed here a month. We traveled around all over the place. Went all over, just all over the Philippines. Didn't really do videos. We had a few videos. Didn't really do them because I'm in tune with that. I had a channel at that time and had it for a while, but it just really didn't do too much. So as time went on, it's time for me to leave. I left, and I said, okay, I'm coming back. I'll just plan for my retirement and I'll come back. So I went back to States, settle everything, sell what I had, and make as much money as I could for the 4 to 6 months I come back. And I did, and I came back, and then we planned on the marriage and thing, and because that had already been talked about many times. And so when I came back, that's when I got our apartment. The first apartment really didn't work out very well. It was the sewage was a problem there. So I got him another apartment, and it was the apartment that I ended up in was really a gorgeous apartment owned by an attorney friend. And there's a long list, but me being American, he put me at the top of the list. Because when it's one, we owe the bill on one, we pay on one. And he did the same thing in German. He had German and he had Aussie, and if it's due on one, we pay on the 30th and 29th. So, and that's what he said, which I always had. So he said, okay, and it cost me $100 a month. So we went in, and that was the thing. But my hardest time was probably interfacing, gelling between RR, her family, and trying to filter into that group. It's hard because you find yourself as an outcast going into a group, and if you're not Filipino, you don't understand what they're saying, the words themselves. So you're really having a hard time trying to figure out what's going on, right? So that has been a challenge. So that was really a big challenge, and we had that I was dealing with. But as time went on, I started gelling more easier and easier and easier. When they come around, they weren't as nervous, and because I intimidate a lot of people because I'm 6'2" and a big guy, so they would just have a hard time and they would run. Even at church now, at this time, I walk up in church and people will run from me because they're shy and I'm just big, and they intimidate them. Not on purpose, this way it is. So it worked out well with the family, and it got to the point to where it was like a good thing, and I'm glad I did. And it probably saved my life as far as I was drinking all the time. I was smoking cigars like crazy. I was just stress, anxiety. That itself will kill you, not counting alcohol, but I wasn't drinking alcohol like 20 beers a day or anything like that. I was not drinking every second of every day. I was drinking, 2, 3 times a week. And because I had jobs, I had work, I had things like that. If I could find a day where I had evening off, I would drink. Like what? And it was not drinking just to drink. Football, basketball, baseball. I'm into the sports. Little did I know, at the time they had all that here. NFL, we had the NFL channel here, and I watched it. I would go downtown and watch it at the restaurant, Holly's restaurant, and we would watch football. So, but I had stopped drinking at that time because I didn't need it. I didn't, I had someone. Drinking was more of a boredom thing. I was bored. I was to the limit of being bored, and it got to the point that it was kind of taking over my life a little bit. So, I fill up the fridge with beer, and it's noon somewhere, so at 12 o'clock I pop the top if I didn't have to work. But I was holding 3 jobs. I worked as a night manager 2 or 3 days a week at a hotel. Then I worked filling magazines in the Walmarts, Targets, Toys R Us, all kinds of places like that. And I filled those magazines. And I worked for iPhone full time, 40 hours a week. And then I would filter those in my days off. iPhone, I could work from 4 a.m. to 2, and then I could filter in those other jobs, like 3 to 10, like that, 2 to 10, or 2 to 11, and then fill the magazines like 2 days a week. So it would be like 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. So I was busy a lot. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, I still work through the other jobs. And then on top of that, I cleaned restaurant hoods. I had a company. I owned a company, a large company at one time, but it filtered out about 20, 25 customers. And I would clean those monthly. So I would have 15 to 20 customers I would clean monthly, and I would do those on the other nights and filter that into the hotel. So I get off at a hotel, say at 10, and then I'd go do a hood, a restaurant hood like a TGI Fridays, and clean it till 3 a.m. and then go home, go to bed, and then show up late that day, next day, at iPhone and start at like 9 or 10. I could do that. I could fluctuate as long as I got my job done, the tasks done. So it got to the point where it was really good for me, and it worked out well. I had, figured it out how to do it, and it was working well. And I did that for a good period of time to keep myself busy and making a little extra money. And the hoods were the key business to my thing because I would make $300-400 in those hours, and that made it worthwhile. The thing of it is, I could never find anybody to work. Nobody wanted to work. I'd pay them $20 an hour back in those days, and couldn't find anybody who wanted to work for $20 an hour. I mean, who wouldn't want to work and make 60 or 80 bucks with work that night at nighttime? It's hard, You pay them $100, they'll do it. But I would, if it was a 2-3 hour job, I'd pay them for 3. If it was a 3-hour job, pay them for 4. So they always got good benefit out of it. Help them, give them food, and you kind of know. But that was my story about meeting Ruth and what I had to do to get to that point. And once I came here at 60 and retired at 62. Then been here ever since. I'm 68 now. 68 plus. So it kind of gives you, I was 59 and a half, something like that, 60, then 60 plus. So it kind of gives you the time frame that I've been here. And great country and great things going on here. It's just time that I want more. Now, I can leave and go to like Thailand and Bali and places like that, but I need my babies with me, and she's in school. One of them's in school. But that's my story. God bless everybody, and thank you so much, and thank you always for watching. See you guys next time.